Big 12 Radio. It's Big 12 Today. Heard on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios. We are presented by Modelo. And, well, this is the weekend to grab some Modelos and pack it in, especially if you live in Texas. Let's go out to Lubbock. Chris Level, our buddy from the Texas Tech Red Raider Radio Network, locked on Red Raiders and RedRaidersports.com. What's up, Chris? How are you?
Gentlemen, how we doing this morning?
Doing fantastic. Excited about Texas Tech Houston. I believe the last loss for Houston in the Big 12 was to Texas Tech in a crazy game we were just recapping in Houston. But this game's been moved up due to the weather. So what's the forecast here for Lubbock over these next 24 hours?
Well, they say about the Big 12 in general, because it's such a tough league. You're either coming out of a storm, you're in the middle of a storm, or you're heading into a storm.
Yes.
And I mean, and this is the case literally and figuratively here. With Houston coming into town. But yeah, it's starting to it's heavy fog outside right now. I think that the freezing stuff is supposed to start here after lunch today and maybe not be so bad, but all throughout the night. And then it's just there's a few lulls tomorrow. So I think that the heaviest stuff is predicted to come down between about 4 and 7 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, which would have been right when everybody was right there in that arena had the game been stayed. So I think they're trying to get that game done. And I don't know what all it takes to move a game time in the Big 12 these days with TV, and you got game day here, and you got I just don't know what all it's not. There's a lot to it. I would say that, but I'm glad they did it. I think you may get more people here at the game because of the earlier time. Because I don't think anybody wants to be driving home in the dark and all that stuff, especially with what it's predicted to do. But anyway, it should be a monster game, and I hope the weather doesn't take away from it at all. And Houston may end up just basically staying here Saturday night and kind of venturing their way to Fort Worth, who they play on Wednesday night, and may never go back to Houston because of all this weather.
Yeah, and that might be the best move for them, definitely. That Baylor game for Texas Tech earlier this week, I think somebody told me before the game the line was only like 1.5 points, and Texas Tech blitzed Baylor with 14 threes in the first half, finished with 17. That was – I have never seen a shooting performance like that. What was your number one takeaway from that game?
Yeah, James, you were watching bombs away from across the court from where I was. That's what Ken Palm had that predicted as I think a 1-point Texas Tech win. I was from a Tech side of it. I was concerned about that game going in. You figure Baylor has talent. They're just not connected yet, and they're not. I think they're trying to figure out what they are and who they are, especially on defense. I figured they would be very desperate just because of a 1-4 start. They're kind of running out of time to kind of get the ship righted. And,
right.
Obviously there's the mentor and the mentee aspect with Scott Drew and Grant McCaslin. But, yeah, man, Donovan Atwell and Christian Anderson. When you say that you've never seen a shooting performance like that before, I've seen it twice this season. Yeah. I mean, it's just that's what this group does. And Scott Drew, they made the decision – it's like you pick your poison on how to guard these guys, right. But poison will kill you either way because you decide to double and triple JT Toppin. He makes the right play. They hit threes. They decide in the second half, okay, we've seen enough of that. We're going to guard these three-point shooters and leave JT in a one-on-one situation in the post. And at that point, JT ended up going for like 22 points. So he kind of did his thing and scored on a bunch of possessions. So anyway, I wasn't expecting you to win like that. I think you were that was a kind of a trap game, if you will, but very impressive performance by Christian Anderson, Donovan Atwell, and the rest of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, it's going to take a team that can play top end straight up and still defend the perimeter to really give Tech issues on offense. Is defense an issue for Tech? Do you see areas that they can improve? What would be the flaw here that might concern you as this team's on a good roll right now?
Defense was a problem. They have gotten a lot better. I think they have like last year, they have progressed. They've gotten a lot better. They understand scouting reports better. Ball screen coverage is better. The play hard factor is better. The depth is still the concern. However, and I think this is music to everybody's ears, but I think that may be about to fix itself. I'd be willing to tell you play tomorrow versus Houston, and then you have a midweek bye, and you don't play again until this next Saturday in Orlando. And I believe that either tomorrow or next Saturday that you'll see either one or both of Josiah Mosley and Luke Bomboye, which these were two of your bigger portal additions in the offseason, and there was a lot expected. Mosley 6'8", from Round Rock, big time recruit, spent last year at Villanova, hasn't played a minute this year, and he may be the one that's closer. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they keep warming up in these games. Before the game, and then right before the team goes in the very last minute, they'll change out of their uniform and all that. So this has been a ramp up, but I think Mosley may in fact debut tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe it won't be till next Saturday, but I bet Bomboye is on the same track. So that would absolutely help JT and just the rotation and just more size, all of it. And then you've still got hopefully 2 months of your season left to kind of acclimate these guys into to a normal role.
Yeah, that would be massive for Texas Tech, especially Mosley, sophomore transfer from Villanova, where he was a productive player off the bench for them and was really good in high school. Take us back to the first matchup. Like, this game is so early in the year that I think people forget that Texas Tech and Houston have already played this season. Houston won a close one by 4, but what does Texas Tech have to do better this second time around?
Yeah, I hate that these two that you're playing this team twice, and it's basically within a span of like 2.5, 3 weeks. So shocker, Houston's really good on defense. I know, breaking news. They basically that'll be the chess match in this game. As soon as Christian Anderson would cross half court with the ball, you had Milo Suzan and then Joseph Tugler just basically trapped him. They put 2 on the ball. And essentially, it's the greatest compliment Christian Anderson could ever receive is that one of the best defensive coaches in the country, with arguably the best defensive team in the country, or one of, basically said, you're not going to get to be a part of the game today. We're taking the ball out of your hands, and somebody else is going to have to beat us. Now, Kelvin Sampson would say, that's what we tried to do that, but Jalen Petty made 4 threes, and we couldn't stop Toppin. But their focus was 1,000% on Christian Anderson, and they did a phenomenal job. I mean, I think he had 4 points until the very last second of the game, and he heaved up a 3. He was like 2 of 11 from the field. Now, Christian, he did assist on several baskets, but how does Texas Tech adjust to that? Like, how do they execute what the outlet is or where their spacing is? Because, I mean, I just think Christian Anderson's going to see a double team, which you don't see that with the point guard much, but that's what they rolled with. And JT Toppin was catching the ball way outside the arc, and good defenses don't let you run what you want to run on offense. That's just how it works. And Houston, so I'll be interested to see what Texas Tech does to counter a lot of that. But yet it was still a 4-point game.
Yeah, well said. Want to get a football question in before I let you go, Chris. And we talked about in the first segment, how to sort of view this season for Texas Tech. And from our vantage point, as an overwhelming success, regardless of the Orange Bowl outcome. The SP Plus final ratings came out. They were third. They had a historic defensive season based on stop rate, the highest stop rate percentage in college football since 2012. So, I mean, this is, at the end of the day, it was a historically great defense.
Yeah, I think what Joey would tell you is they set a new standard. They raised the bar.
Yeah.
And now this is what internally this is what they will try to live up to. It's not the previous years and hey, go to a bowl game and try to be a conference contender. No, this is like now you're to the point. and it's funny because I've had some Tech fans kind of feel, man, should we feel good about our portal class? Because I think they created this monster out here. Yeah, no, you didn't get Cam Coleman. You didn't get a few other like high profile guys that you wanted. You did really well. Brennan Sorsby is a Heisman Trophy candidate, and he will never have played around the group that he's about to play around. Austin Romaine, I mean, James knows this. Austin Romaine will fit very well in that linebacking group. They added all conference type defensive linemen, like 5 or 6 of them. Nobody knew much about, the Romello Heights and the David Baileys and all that last year. And so you're in a good spot to try to at least defend your title. And I think you have a pretty manageable schedule.
Yeah.
There's not much margin for error there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it ought to be a fun fall in Lubbock again.
Yeah. Chris Level, Texas Tech Red Raider Radio Network, will be on the call for the game tomorrow in Lubbock. Appreciate your time as always, buddy. Be well. Thanks. Stay
Keep
warm.
alive and make sure you got those snowmobiles
Yeah.
gassed up this weekend, boys.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I know you are a couple of snowmobile owners.
They just fly off the shelves in Dallas.
Gotta gas it up, get her out there.
That's right. All right. See you, boys.
See you, bud.
See ya.
Chris Level, Texas Tech Red Raider Radio Network, RedRaidersports.com. This is Big 12 Today, presented by Modelo, heard on TuneIn and watched on Big 12 Studios.